I'm sharing a channeled message from the angels about how they want to help you. You might already be working with the angels, but there's a lot more that they can do for you that you might not even be aware of. I'm Ann Tucker, and thanks so much for joining me on my YouTube channel. You would do me a big favor if you would please like this video and also to subscribe. So down below you can see in the description box there's a place down there where you can subscribe to the channel, and I would appreciate if you would. So I am a trance channel, and I channel from the angelic realm. And what that means is I go into a deep meditation, and then the meditative state, and then I raise my awareness up as high as I can go, and then a little bit higher, and then the messages start to flow. And I share those messages here with you guys on YouTube. And last week, I shared a message from the angels that was about what they would like us to do to help them. There's some specific requests they had about what we can do that would really help them with the work that they want to do in our world. And this week, they came back and they shared another message, which is about what they want to do for us. And they give us, again, very specific ideas about some ways that you can work with the angels that, like I said, you're probably not aware of. And if you don't ask, they can't help you. So this is really important for us to learn. So I'm going to go ahead and share the message with you now. So I have a very cool channel message for you guys today. And so last week, the angels were telling us what they would like for us to do for them. So they had very specific requests, a specific type of prayer that they would like us to be using to help them so that they could help more of us. Basically, they were saying that by creating that wish, by creating that intervention for another person, we provide access for the angels to come in and help them. So they were giving us some really specific instructions around that, which I thought was just really cool. And it felt, I think, really empowering to feel like we have a way that we can help other people, the people that we care about or people that we don't even know. They said all we had to have was a visual. So it could be somebody you literally pass on the street and you see that person clearly needs help in some way, or could be people that are in the public eye that you know need help, whatever it is, right? But also people that you love, people that you know. So anyways, that was a really cool message, but I thought it was so fitting, and when I start these messages, I don't go in with an idea. I just kind of open up and see what they say. And I thought it was so awesome that they came back today after last week saying what they wanted from us. They came back and said, here's what we want to do for you, which I thought was super cool. So, and it is actually much more than I think most of us realize. Like a lot of us at this point, a lot of us are talking to our angels, right? You guys know you have a guardian angel. You guys, talk to your guardian angels. You ask for help, which is great. But there's more things that you can do. And so sorry, that's weird. My phone just started making noise suspiciously. And I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what's going on with it. There's something going on there. I'll turn it all the way down and I'll fix it later. But it makes me suspicious when my phone starts talking to itself. So I'm going to go ahead and read this message with you guys. And like I said, this is specifically about how they can help us. So they say, we are now beginning to offer some help for those who are listening. And we can say, so this is specifically for you guys, this message. They say, we would like to have them encounter ourselves, meaning the angels, more readily. We want to assure each of them that we are encompassing their being. We are present as they speak our name and ask our assistance. We hear, we can help. And we ask to become more apparent in their world, to take on the valence of more servitude, to help and aid you with all the performance of tasks requiring light energy. So really they're saying here that they want to do more for us, that the angels really are, like, think of them as being in service, that they're here to help us. That's their whole point. And a lot of them are like, we joke that they're unemployed, right? That there's a lot of angels out there that are like, hey, give me something to do. They really want to help us. They're saying they want to have the valence of servitude. Doesn't mean being a servant or being a servant. It means being in service of, right? They want to help us. They want to do things to help us. And so they're saying there's a lot more that they can do, anything that requires light energy. And then they give us some specific examples of stuff they can do. Here's what they say. They say, those things we can accomplish are many. And good morning, you guys. Hi to you guys that are just joining. It's great to see you. They said the things that we accomplish are many. We can do things to lighten your ambiance, to cure your dour heart and open your feeling to our embrace. So you guys know that when you're feeling low, when you're feeling down, when you're feeling disconnected, you can ask for their help then. They're saying we can begin to follow your breath and enhance those beginnings you create to extend the impact of what you create. So when they talk about here, when they talk about your breath, follow your breath. is what they mean here is that sort of your exhale is what is it that you're creating out in the world. And that could be through spoken words. It could be created through thought, whatever it is that you are putting out into the world. What is it that you want to create? And they're saying the beginnings, that you just need to create those beginnings, and then they can extend the impact of whatever it is that you're creating. The third thing they say is that we can have our presence there when you fear for yourself or another and feel joy in response to lighten your vibration and bring you into alignment with yourself. So like in any situation where you're feeling fearful, they're saying that they will come in with joy, and that joy can then lighten your vibration. And it could be for yourself or for someone else. Like, remember last time they told us that we can have an intention for another person, and it opens the door for them to be able to enter. So these are just some of the ways that they listed. They say we are ready to help in many ways, and you may ask us as you consider our availability to do these things we say and more. They say, what can we do to favor you with our guidance? We can provide some instinctual feeling, intuition, the breeze that instills in your heart a sense of purpose and direction, the conviction of preference. So this, what they're talking about is that it's like they can, when you're trying to think about something, and then all of a sudden you get that sort of like, an insight or something pops into your head. And that could be the whisper of an angel giving you, hey, here's an idea. Here's something to consider. Here's a solution that maybe you hadn't thought of, and that they can do that for you. So when you're really puzzling, if you sort of just get yourself, for me, I find that these whispers come in when I have my hands busy. So if I just go and do some laundry or cook something, I'm just doing something that doesn't take a lot and I can let my mind wander. That's when those little messages come in. That's when I hear them. They go on to say, in terms of doing this, they say, this we can assist to enlighten you towards the outcome you prefer. It lands as a knowing or great excitement or sense of conviction, knowing your path. So that's how you'll feel it, is when they give you these messages, these insights, these downloads or inspirations, and you can ask for that. So this is, you're saying, how can they give us guidance, is through these ideas or inspirations. And they're going to look, they said, that they're going to find like understanding what your purpose is, or what it is that you're really going to want. They can understand that, and then go out and find those opportunities or find those possible directions you can move in, and then come in and whisper them in your ear for you, which is, okay, how cool is that? So they go on to say, the next step, the choice to make, we can enlighten you with packets of thought we drop into your awareness and help guide your direction. You may choose to ignore and take not our suggestion. We simply provide a light to shine a path forward with conviction that feels aligned with your purpose and halfway chosen by your own preference and possibility. These nuances we consider in planning your path, in looking for options and directing your conveyance to that which you have chosen. So they're saying that the next step in terms of making the choice, they're saying that it's an idea, that it doesn't mean, yeah, I know, me too, it's super cool, right? But they're saying that it doesn't mean that we have to take their suggestion, that this is an idea, that they're looking out at the sort of that's the thing that the angels have, is they have that super high level view of the whole landscape, and they see our energy going out in these different directions, and they can see the potentialities. They can see what's possible. And then they can come back and say, hey, here's a way that, knowing what it is that we want to create, knowing what it is that we want for ourselves, they can say, hey, this path is going to lead you in that direction if you go this way. But we have the option not to listen. There's no harm in not doing what they say, other than the fact that it might not turn out as well. And they said they simply provide a light to shine a path forward, and with conviction. So that idea that it's going to light you up inside, get you excited, so that it feels aligned with your purpose, and it's going to be chosen by your preference and the possibility, what's possible and what you want. So they think about all this, they're saying, as they're looking for options. They think about what we want and what's possible in our path and what's going to be aligned for us, before they give us these suggestions. So they go on to say, we say these tasks we are familiar with and have performed often, but we say you can use us more. Simply ask us to reveal potentialities. Ask us to show you how a pathway unfolds, how you can reveal opportunity. We can help. Hold in your awareness the thought we plant for consideration to reveal the knowledge you seek, the insight and direction. And you're saying, so great to get this message just before the new moon this weekend. Oh, you're right. Good timing. Yeah, totally. So everybody's ready to set some intentions and ask the angels to carry it forward for you, and to open up to this guidance that they're talking about. So they go on to say, Once you have chosen, we can begin our purposeful work to align those circumstances to your being, which comply with that which you have requested through your projection. And we take joy in having discernment over which circumstances come forward. So what they're saying here is that once we choose, because that's the big thing they're always telling us, is they can't choose for us, that we have to do the choosing. That's the piece that's the creative piece that we have to own. So they can give us ideas, they can show us potentialities, they can, directions we could take, but then we have to choose. And then once we choose, so they say they can begin their purposeful work to align those circumstances. So to kind of line things up. I see it as like a line of dominoes, right? They put a line of dominoes out there like, hey, come this way. And they line things up that are going to take us in the direction that's going to be best for us. Then it's going to lead us to what it is we're hoping for. So they say that we request this through our projection, and that projection is our decision, putting our energy in that direction, right? And they say they take joy in having discernment over which circumstances come forward. So they really enjoy the process of understanding. Like, think of it as like how you feel when you're finding that just perfect gift for someone. When you're out and you're like, oh, I know what they're going to love this. I can't wait to give it to them. Like, that's the vibe that I get from this, is that they're out there like aligning it and knowing what our intention is, so that we're sending out our vibration, and they're saying of all the things that are out there that are matching our vibration, they're trying to find the ones that are going to be most aligned with us, that are going to bring us either the greatest growth or the greatest happiness, whatever it is. And they move those into alignment with our path. So they say they take a lot of joy in that discernment and finding those circumstances to bring forward. We can find on your horizon, so I'm just repeating here, that we can find on your horizon those opportunities you like best, those circumstances which will further your hopes and dreams in alignment with source plan. So they say that that's the caveat they always put in here, is that it isn't so much like we're not like the kids in the candy store that just like, I want this and I want that and I want, like, it all has to be aligned with what our plan is for our life, and with what, with the source, especially aligned with our source intention. Like, what is it that we're meant to be learning in our life? So those things will always take precedence. But within that, there's a lot of latitude for what is it that you want to create in your life. So they're saying that, and they have discernment. They can choose the circumstances that are going to be more in line with our preference. If we choose to, we have to ask, right? We just ask for the help. So, and they end that paragraph here by saying that your life direction and purpose must always be considered, and we do not evaluate opportunities not in alignment with your being and life purpose planning. So, and I think that's important. Okay, so they go on to say, we say, invite us in more, understand our capabilities. We can do much as you say our name, angels. All applies. And in other words, the word angels applies to all of them. They say, by name if you prefer, but not important. We are all one and the same mind. We share, so we can be two at once or many. It solves the quandary of our name. So they're saying it's no problem if, and there's different, and angels can take on different roles. And there's archangels by name and stuff like that. But my sense of it is that they're all light, and that you can have different energies that take on the role of Archangel Michael. And I'm not totally, it's hard to describe because it's so alien to how we are. But I do know that when you say angels, you mean that, like, it works for all of them. They're saying basically, don't worry about our names. That's an us thing. It's not a them thing. So and you can call them by a name if it helps you to identify with them, whatever works, or just use angels. And it really, like I said, they have a collective mind. They all understand. It's all good. We cannot perceive that which you want. The directory of choices is yours to peruse, and you must select and be the director of your circumstances. But we are a component of your toolbox. We are capable of performing much in alignment with the projection of your wishes. So this is what I was saying about the fact that we have to be the ones that make the choice, that they can't make the choice for us because they can't perceive what we want. And that gets to that idea that when you try to figure out what it is that you want, that's an emotional thing that you have to weigh within your heart. That yes, we decide, our logic plays a strong role in the choices that we make, but it comes in after the heart. The heart is the one that decides preference. The heart feels what feels best. And then once you feel it, then your logical mind comes in and says, okay, I'm going to rationalize why that one is the best one. And that feeling might come in based on data and based on other things. But at the end of the day, the heart is what chooses. And they can't do that for us. That's the magic of being human, right? That's our creative gift. And so we have to employ our creative gift. We can never hand it over to them and say, tell me what to do. It has to be we choose, and then they help us manifest it, right? You're saying, I love the idea that we have a directory of choices. I know, right? Yeah, it's cool. All right. They go on to say, those thoughts not in alignment with your vibration cannot go far, but we find the circumstances to reflect this limitation to aid yourself in healing that reduction of your ability to manifest. We can bring the lesson you seek to reveal your causeway toward your full fulfillment of purpose and preference. So this is, I think this is important, is they're saying that if we are asking for something that we are not ready for in one way or another, or that really isn't aligned with our purpose, like if we're asking for something that's super not aligned with our life goals, with the goals we set for ourselves on the planet, it won't go anywhere. It can't, because we can't hold the vibration in our body. But same thing if we're asking for something, and like say for something you're trying to manifest, your business, you're trying to manifest a business and you're trying to bring in more money into your business. But if there's something blocking that, then they will, knowing that you want to do it, and maybe it is aligned with your life path, and being able to do that may be exactly your life path, then they will help to find the circumstances that are out there that are they're going to bring them forward, the ones that are going to give you your best shot at confronting your inner limitations so that you can get past them, is what they're saying there. So they're trying to help us always, one way or another. And you're saying, yes, I have channeled that before, that it's the humans name them. The archangels are more focused energy and not necessarily bound to one type of energy too. Yeah, right? It's super interesting. So I think it helps us. I think having names is helpful. I notice when I channel, frequently different energies will come through, and I think of them as different energies. They have different voices. And they come in at different times. So, but it's like a collective. So I think it's interesting to see. All right, they go on to say, we are grateful that you have ascertained our gifts. Many times we have waited to be seen and understood. Understand us more now, you have, and we can begin to commemorate this occurrence with more cooperative success. We are elated at the prospect. We thank you. We love you. Goodbye. So again, another super cool angel message. I love that one. And I think it really, I think that, how many of you have not been using them in that way, right? Thinking about that deliberately when you're creating, or thinking about, the different ways that they talked about, because I think it's very common for us to reach out to them and to pray and to do things like that. But being specific, and I find that it really does take being specific. Like when I'm working with them, especially like, for example, when I'm healing, that, think of it as like they can see everything, like they can see infinity. And so we assume that they're going to be able to notice when we're sad, or notice when there's a problem, or notice when, and they may, but it really helps to call their attention to something, to say, hey, look at this thing over here. This is something I'm having a problem with. And once you call their attention to it, then they're on it like that. But before you call their attention, they may not see it, because of the fact that it's like, how when you're in a room and you might be reading a book and you're not noticing that, somebody knocking on the door, because you're just tuned out. You're focused on something else. It's like that. You have to draw their attention to something if it's important to you. Like, you have to be specific. And that's part of what they're saying here, is invite them in, be specific, tell them what you want their help with, and anything that is anything relating to light energy, they can do it. So I think it's like your imagination is the limit, and there's a lot more than what we've actually been using them for. So I think a very cool message. And I think next week, I believe they're going to be talking about an interesting take on self-love, I think is the message for next week. So we'll see how that comes together. But that should be fun. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me this week. It was wonderful to spend the morning with you. And you're saying a needle in the haystack. Yeah, I think that's how it is for them, is there's just so much to perceive, right? The world is a busy, busy place, and there's a gazillion of us. We got to direct give them a little help, give them some direction, and we can work with them more effectively. Thanks so much for watching. You can see more messages like this one from the angels if you just like this video and subscribe using that little button down below in the description box. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time.